Good morning, guys. Today we're going to share our greatest success story with our sheep. So if that's interesting to you, please stay tuned. So what is our greatest sheep success story? Well, for us, it's going to be our first lambing, which happened last spring. So for those of you that aren't familiar with our farm and with our sheep, we got our first 4 sheep here on the farm in spring of 2022. Now, quickly, our goal was to grow our flock. We wanted to have lambs. We wanted to expand here, but we weren't sure exactly, how we were going to go about doing it. Like any rookie shepherd, we're going to have to go through our growing pains. We're going to have to learn. And we were fortunate enough to actually have our first lamb at an unfortunate time in January of this year. So if you're not familiar with the way sheep breed, typically your window on when you'd want to breed your sheep here is going to be in late fall, early winter. Now the reason for that, sheep's gestation period is anywhere from 142 to 152 days, with an average around 147 days. Now, as you can imagine, timing is going to be very important there. That's roughly 5 months. So if it's too early, well, now you're going to have lambs over the middle of winter. And that's exactly what happened here. So very rarely are you actually going to know when your sheep were bred. In our case, you look for your first signs. You're going to look for when your ewe, so obviously starts to gain some size. And a lot of times sheep aren't going to gain size until much later on, until almost a month left, when they really start to grow there. So around Christmas last year, we noticed our main ewe, Molly, who's right here in front of us. We noticed that she was starting to get pretty large. It was pretty obvious there that she was about to have a lamb. So fast forward to January, we did have our first lamb. Of course it was cold. January here in Pennsylvania is going to be, typically the 20s and 30s most days. And we were fortunate enough to actually be home for this. So it was one of those things that once you need to be very vigilant. I can remember I was just telling my wife, hey, if I'm at work, I need you to call me just in case something were to go wrong. We're not sure how this whole process is going to work. Everything I've read on sheep is that they're great mothers. They don't usually need assistance, but being that we've only had 4 sheep, I couldn't afford to lose any. I couldn't afford to have something go wrong during birth, and God forbid our lamb doesn't make it, but we also can't lose a ewe there either. So I was always telling her, hey, just be sure to call me. I'll get home right away. My family lives close. We'll be able to get them over here. And fortunately for us, the timing was just perfect. We actually just missed it on the Sunday. So I just happened to go over and do my checks, and there she was, snow white. Everything here in Pennsylvania is brown at that time of year. And there you see this white little lamb. And it was really awesome to see how the mother just, took her in right away. And you could tell right away that she was nursing. So that's obviously a huge sign. That's a huge positive when they go right to start nursing there. And it was just, it was a great success. I quickly got my wife over here. We made sure we got lots of pictures. We documented it very well. We let it go a day or two to make sure, we weren't going to interfere. And then obviously, of course, we're going to get my daughter over to see it because she was more than excited here to see this new lamb. So it was just an awesome time. Our first time actually having new life of a larger animal like that. And we've hatched chicks before, and that is what it is. It's exciting, of course, but when you're gonna have a larger animal like these sheep behind us and you're gonna have your first lamb here, it was definitely a different experience and a lot of fun for us. Now, we certainly weren't all in the clear. I mean, like I said, we were in the middle of January, so we had to make sure that she was gonna make it. And it was something that I was, making sure I was checking every day. But from everything I've read and everything I've kind of studied on these animals, they're extremely hardy. And again, that's a reason why we went with sheep to begin with. So I was confident that after a few days, she was going to be okay. of course, you know, as any time we're gonna have animals here, we're gonna get a big storm, and we actually didn't have much snow here last year, which was nice, but we did have some freezing rain, some of that wintry mix, and then, you know, there were some nights where it was extremely windy, and that's really your concern. You know, you don't want them to be wet and the wind. I mean, that's when you start getting into extreme conditions for them. Their hair does a great job repelling water. So you know, once your lamb grows to, you know, a certain size, you know, you're pretty much in the clear. But we wanted to make sure that we were going to get out of the first week or so. And after that, I felt pretty good about it. And I mean, she has grown, and at this point, I mean, this is her right there. And it's hard to even tell the difference between what we named her Lamb. Yeah, that was my daughter's doing, of course. And this right here, guys, this makes it all worth it. Just seeing the happiness in her face and how excited she was to see this baby lamb. You know, all the hard work that goes into it, all the conditions that we have to kind of endure to maintain this farm. Again, it just makes it all worth it. It makes it all come together. And we're so happy to be able to do this for our children. We're so happy that they get to experience this. It truly could be a once in a lifetime opportunity. And we were lucky enough to have her experience that. So that alone made it such a success for us. Our first lambing couldn't have gone any better. Really happy with it. Unfortunately, we do have a really sad experience that we're going to share with you tomorrow. We're going to share our worst sheep experience to this point. So as I always say, we're going to give you the good, the bad, and unfortunately, we're going to give you the ugly sometimes as well. And if you like what we're doing, you know, please stay tuned to us. If you haven't already, you know, hit that subscribe button, please. It really supports us. It really helps us out, and we truly do appreciate it. It is, wow, it's almost 7 o'clock on a Thursday. I got to get to work. Give us a good old thumbs up. Guys, enjoy your day. Have a great weekend, and we'll be in touch soon.